The bricks turned to dust and fell around her in a perfect circle. She stood in the middle with her blade on her shoulders. "You sure are flashy, but now I must cut you." In the blink of an eye, she stood behind Hunter with her blade on her shoulders, and his body fell on the ground in fabulous, gory fashion. The armor-clad woman jumped backwards over the bloody chunks and stood in front of her throne. Just then, a loud snap rang out, and the pile of flesh exploded in flames. The shockwave from the explosion knocked her through the bone throne. Her body skipped across the ground, and she slammed back first on Hunter's torso, the bracers and belt gone from his body. He wrapped his arms around her waist, picked her up, and slammed her down on the ground with a German suplex. Hunter got to his feet, and the woman sat up and asked, her voice full of confusion and irritation, "How are you still alive? I chopped you up, what are you?" Hunter shrugged and replied, "I don't know, I just don't die, that's why I'm a hunter." The woman shook her head. "No, that is not an answer, what are you?" Her lifeless eyes turned dark gray and in a graceful motion. She removed his head from his body. His head fell to the ground and turned to ash. And as his body fell, flames shot out of his neck hole, and a new head appeared, which he then used to headbutt the blade out of her hand. The sword landed a few feet behind him, and then he kicked her in the chest and launched her backward a few hundred feet. She slid to a stop and stared at Hunter with a crazed look. Hunter took in a huge breath and let it out slowly, then his eyes turned orange. He snapped his fingers and stomped his feet, and the skin on his waist and wrist glowed green and blue, respectively. A few of the stone blocks levitated off the ground and started to melt. He clenched his fist, and the slag covered both of his arms up to his shoulders, then turned to steam. Hunter slammed his hand on the ground and stood up. Then he flipped the bird to the woman. Her gray eyes showed anger, and she sprinted at him. Hunter watched her get closer and closer and tilted, his head from side to side chuckling. With a blatant show of disrespect, the woman let out a roar and lunged at him. Just then a giant geyser of steam erupted from the ground and engulfed her, melting the armor from her body. When the geyser subsided, she fell to the ground soaked. She wore a leather tank top and pants that clung to her body. She writhed in pain from the blisters on her exposed skin. She stood up. Her hair was wet, singed, and patchy, and her face was full of blisters. She laid on the ground, flailing her arms, trying and failing to hit Hunter. The blisters started to pop, and 1,000 white and green tendrils shot out from the pustules, and it cocooned itself around her.